Let's not waste time. This is going to hurt you deeply, but you need it more than you realize, because no one told you this before, and if they did, you weren't ready to hear it. What you think is love is not love. It never was. That pull in your chest, that ache when they don't text back, that feeling of being incomplete when they're not around, that isn't love. It's fear. Fear of being alone, fear of being forgotten, fear of being unloved, fear that without someone to validate you, you don't exist. You've built your identity around someone else's attention, around being chosen, around being needed. But what if I told you that this is not romance? This is not passion. This is not fate. This is emotional addiction. And like any addiction, it will destroy you if you don't confront it. From the moment you were young, you were taught the worst lie of all, that love means possession, that to love someone is to need them, that being alone means being broken. You were sold this fantasy, the soulmate, the one person who makes everything make sense, the missing half of your soul. So you search. You mold yourself to fit into someone else's life. You wait for the text. You get high on attention and crash on silence. You obsess over being loved, not because you love them, but because without them, you feel like you're nothing. And no one ever told you that this isn't love. They told you it was romantic to suffer, to ache, to pine, to fight for love, even when it's killing you slowly. But deep inside you, there's a truth trying to claw its way out. You are not in love. You are emotionally dependent. You are addicted to a person the way someone's addicted to a drug, because they give you what you can't give yourself: comfort, certainty, identity, worth. And like any addict, you fear withdrawal. You fear losing the thing that numbs the void inside. Let's name it. Let's call out the things no one else dares to say. That anxiety when they don't reply, not love. That pain when you see them online but not messaging you, not love. That feeling that without them life isn't worth it, not love. It's the nervous system screaming because your source of validation has gone quiet. It's the child inside you, abandoned again. You pace the room. You overthink every word you sent. You stalk their social media. You sleep with your phone under your pillow. And the worst part? You've convinced yourself that this chaos, this mental instability, is proof of how much you love them. No, it's proof of how much you've lost yourself. Because real love, true love, doesn't feel like a panic attack. It doesn't feel like obsession. It doesn't feel like emotional starvation followed by dopamine highs. That's trauma bonding. That's emotional codependency. That's a relationship built not on choice, but on survival. Where did this begin? Long before this person. Long before your last relationship. This began in childhood. In that moment, you learned that love had to be earned by being good, being quiet, being what someone else needed. You were taught to please, to adapt, to be useful. Because if you weren't, love might disappear. So you became a performer, a shapeshifter, an emotional caretaker. And now, as an adult, you confuse love with survival. You pick people who mirror your early wounds, unavailable people, inconsistent people, people who light you up and then ghost you. Why? Because it feels familiar. Because the nervous system doesn't crave peace. It craves what it knows. Even if what it knows is pain. You don't fall in love with people. You fall into patterns. Over and over. Same relationship. Different face. And here's something brutal. You stopped being yourself a long time ago. Because when you attach, you don't just cling, you shrink. You make yourself smaller. You silence your needs. You deny your anger. You edit your truth. Why? Because you're terrified of being left. So you become what they want. You mold yourself into the perfect partner. You sacrifice your boundaries. You give and give and give. Until you disappear. And here's the kicker. They never even asked for this. You did it. Out of fear. Out of habit. Out of that childhood belief. If I'm not good enough, they'll leave. And one day, you wake up and don't recognize yourself in the mirror. Because you're not you anymore. You're just a reflection of what you think they want. Let's strip it bare. If your love makes you anxious, if it makes you beg, if it makes you lose sleep, lose peace, lose yourself, that's not love. That's captivity. That's you living in a cage of your own making, decorating it with romantic fantasies and calling it home. Carl Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." What you call fate is a trauma response on repeat. What you call destiny is your wound, dragging you back to the same heartbreak, again and again, until you learn the lesson. You don't need someone to fix you. You need to unlearn the belief that you are broken. Because what you crave is not another person. It's yourself. The real you. The one beneath the masks. The one you abandoned to be loved. Now we walk into the fire. Detachment is the hardest thing you'll ever do. Not because it's cold. Not because it's cruel. But because it feels like death. You're not just letting go of a person. You're letting go of a fantasy. You're letting go of who you thought you needed to be loved. You're letting go of a version of yourself that only existed in the mirror of another. And yes, it will feel like you're tearing your own skin off. Because you've wrapped your identity around another human being. Around being needed. Around being chosen. So when they go, or even when the threat of losing them arises, it feels like you're dying. But you're not dying. You're being reborn. Because detachment, real detachment, is the moment you stop outsourcing your worth. It's the moment you look in the mirror and say, I'm enough. Even when no one chooses me. That is the beginning of power. Not ego. Not pride. Power. You want to know what true love looks like? It's not begging someone to stay. It's not sacrificing your dignity for a text. It's not crying in the dark hoping someone finally sees your worth. True love begins with a terrifying, liberating truth. I choose my peace over your presence. Not because I don't care, but because I do. I care about me. I care enough to stop betraying myself for temporary affection. Because here's the truth you're finally ready to hear. You've been trying to fix what was never yours to fix. You've been trying to get water from an empty well. You've been trying to feel whole by clinging to someone who can't even carry their own broken pieces. And the moment you stop, the moment you say enough, you reclaim your soul. You stop being a beggar of love and become the source of it. And now, welcome to the desert. This is the in-between place, where you've let go of the old, but the new hasn't arrived yet. Where it's silent, lonely, uncomfortable. You'll be tempted to go back. Back to the familiar chaos. Back to the dopamine. Back to the half-love that at least felt like something. Don't. Stay here. In the silence. This is the space where your nervous system rewires. Where your inner child begins to feel safe. Where your shadow starts to integrate. Yes, it's brutal. You'll cry. You'll ache. You'll think you made a mistake. But slowly, something changes. You stop obsessing. You stop checking. You stop needing. You start remembering who you were before you forgot yourself in someone else's reflection. This is the desert. And this is where you meet you. And now, everything shifts. Because once you've walked the desert, once you've sat with your pain, instead of numbing it with people, once you've faced the emptiness and didn't die, you're free. Free to choose love. Not from hunger, but from wholeness. Free to walk away from what doesn't serve you. Not with bitterness, but with grace. Free to love someone without needing them to complete you. You stop looking for saviors. You stop projecting. You stop clinging to potential and start seeing reality. You can finally look someone in the eyes and say, I want you, but I don't need you. I love you, but I love me more. And if you can't meet me in freedom, I'll still be whole without you. That's conscious love. Love without chains. Love without sacrifice of self. Love that flows, not floods. But here's the painful truth. Not everyone will come with you. Because many are addicted to your neediness. They felt important because you depended on them. They loved you, not for who you were, but for the version of you that needed them to survive. And when you grow, when you stop begging, when you say no to the crumbs they offered, they leave, or they try to tear you down. Don't let that shake you, because the more healed you become, the fewer people will be able to access you. Not because you're cold, but because you've raised your standards. You're no longer available for emotional starvation. You're no longer flattered by inconsistency. You're no longer moved by the bare minimum. You've tasted peace, and now chaos no longer excites you. Now listen to me closely. The greatest love story of your life is not with another person. It is with you, with your growth, with your becoming, with your liberation. Love is not about finding someone to hold your broken pieces together. It's about becoming so whole that love becomes something you give, not something you beg for. You stop needing someone to fill the silence. The silence becomes sacred. You stop needing someone to say, you're worthy. You already know. You stop trying to prove your love because the way you live becomes proof of love. You start living from a place of fullness. And from that place, the relationships that come to you are different. They're not codependent. They're not draining. They're not anxious. They are rooted in freedom, rooted in presence, rooted in choice. So what now? You've seen the truth. You've looked your wounds in the face. You've realized that most of what you thought was love was pain wearing a pretty mask. You've outgrown the fantasy. And now, the world won't look the same. You'll feel lonelier at first. That's normal. But that loneliness? It's not a curse. It's a sign that you've stopped settling. And what's waiting for you? Peace. Not the fake kind you get from someone texting you back. Real peace. The kind that lives in your bones. The kind that doesn't shatter when someone leaves. The kind that comes when you finally come home to yourself. So I'll leave you with this. You are not too much. You are not unlovable. You are not broken. You are whole. And anyone who cannot meet you in that wholeness does not belong in your future. If you've made it this far, something inside you already knew all of this. You just needed someone to say it aloud. And now I want you to do something bold. Go down to the comments and write this. I choose my peace over fear. Write it not for me, for yourself. Let it be your declaration. Let it be your turning point. Let it be the sentence that you return to every time you feel yourself slipping back into old patterns. And if you're ready for more truths like this, subscribe. Because this channel is not here to comfort you. It's here to awaken you. See you in the next video. Or maybe, see you where it matters most, inside you.